And this Knights team, they're ranked 5th, but I think the Gators are ranked, well towards the end of the SEC rankings. So we're going to see two teams that they're not satisfied with their ranking, and they're going to leave it all on the pitch today.
Gators in the all-blue uniforms today. UCF in the white tops and the white trunks. Madison Alexander will take the opening kick here on this natural grass, and we are underway as Nicole Vernis booms it ahead. Gators, Juan, they want to get out and score early. It's been something they have not been able to do, score in a first half. Here's Madison Alexander, dumps it inside. Here's Corey Peace, right on cue. The shot batted away, right to the left foot of Peace, and again deflected free, and Rajay able to clear it back to the middle of the field. It's like they were listening to the broadcast.
Yes, sir.
Seconds in, Corey Peace an opportunity. Now Sid Kennedy steps in front. Right in front of Shamlo, just dumps it back in to Caroline Delisle, the redshirt junior keeper.
Corey Peace, a player that dealt with a lot of injuries last season. You could already see she wants to get forward and score. She also did an interview with you earlier this season talking about her woes last year.
As Delaney Tozzel with the interception. Dribbles the ball back the other way, plays it back for Cam Hall. Along that back line, Anna De Leon power shoots one ahead. Peace charging in, but Delisle gets there in time to rip it away. For this Gator offense to be dynamic, Juan, you look at two players specifically, and we mentioned Kit Lefersky already, who has 2 goals in 2 games after coming into this year at a total of 5 goals in her career. But you think of Lefersky and Corey Peace as the two at the top of the tactical look that need to really make something happen today for Florida.
Two pacey strikers that like to play on the wings. Right now, Corey Peace is playing central, but you're going to see her make runs out wide to just leave space in the middle for midfielders to push up, like Maddie Alexander.
Meanwhile, for UCF, some of their top offensive players, you look at Mallory Olson, who's returning back to this team, the transfer from Miami. Her best year was her first year collegiately in 2018 with 4 goals scored. Kristen Scott, number 7 in white on the far side of the field, had her 2nd career brace, a 2-goal game against Texas, including scoring in the first 80 seconds of the match against the Longhorns. Here's Olivia Lewis. Plays it right of center for Katie Bradley. Had a great start to her collegiate career on the American All-Rookie team, a native of Bolton, England. Ball arced downfield towards Alexa Goldberg, and the Gators will reset.
Talking about Katie Bradley, she played in the youth system at Manchester City over there in the greater Manchester area in England.
A lot of international players playing collegiately. Of course, we just saw Juan on Sunday, Julia Grosso in town, who was an Olympic gold medalist for Team Canada, hit the decisive penalty kick in the gold medal match against Sweden. Deanne Rose, of course, of this program, a part of that gold medal Canada team. First gold in Canada history.
Yes. And it was nice to see Deanne Rose go back home and being welcome, on that little parade that she had just for her gold medal. It was beautiful.
Gators will settle along the back. It's Kennedy Baxay along with Georgia Eaton-Collins seeing her first start. She's coming back from a foot issue, so did not start the first 2 games, did not play in the first game. Also, Anna De Leon is playing on that back line. In the midfield, you have Vernis along with Hall, Tozzel and Lefersky, and Alexander and Peace playing in the forward spots. Here's Madison Alexander. Trying to work past Rajay. Tap back to Bradley, who plays it along the back line to Ariel Young. Along that back line for UCF, they have Ariel Young, who's dealt with injuries over the last 2 years, number 8 in white, playing center back for Tiffany Roberts-Zahadak. They thought she was going to be a star right away, but injuries derailed that. It's like getting a new player for them, that center back spot, after having to miss the last 2. Native of Ottawa, Canada. Anna De Leon, right channel. Lefersky, 1 touch to De Leon. Did not have a good first deliverance on it. Trying to get it to Tozzel, and taken away by UCF and Madison Mernon. It's cleared away into the UCF bench, so Florida will throw in. A much cooler day, I would say, Juan, than what we had the other day, as expected later in the day, but usually you get some humidity in the air. Not necessarily the case today, about 81 degrees at opening kick. clouds overhead. The sun is not fierce or baking down on the field, so it's comfortable for the players, I would say, right now. But again, I'm not playing.
But we do feel it. We have open windows here, and right now it feels really nice in Gainesville, Florida.
Mathilde Cack, the long clearance to Taylor Baxay. Chested down by Mernon. Plays it to right for Shamlow, the transfer from Notre Dame. One touch, Furness. Triangle passing, it's Peace. Now turns it upfield. Peace with speed. The shot from distance deflects away. Keeper out, Lefersky with the right foot. Had it shinned away and cleared outside the 18. Kate Lefersky has scored both of the Gator goals. Cam Hall gives it a shot from distance, a laser beam. A little why not from Cam Hall.
That's something that the Gators need to do a little bit more. Sometimes I feel like they hesitate to take shots from long range, and if you have the space and you're 25 yards out, why not? It was a pretty solid shot from Cam Hall.
Cole Vernus, nice defensive play. Promptly whistled for the foul. Olivia Lewis a little frustrated on that extra contact. That's part of the aggression, right, Juan, for this team offensively, is feel free to maybe take that long range, long distance shot, or even that long range pass to try and make a play in transition.
It's also good to finish a play when you're in attack and you have players forward, because then you get caught in the counterattack, and you never want that from a defensive standpoint. You got to start defending with your attack, and that is part of it, taking that shot, finishing the play.
Meanwhile, UCF, they struggled to score last year. They only played 7 games. They scored 9 goals, and they only allowed 10. They return the American goalkeeper of the year, and Caroline Delisle in a redshirt junior year. Really a steady defense. That's the hope, at least, for Tiffany Roberts-Zahadak and UCF. Now Vernus has it on the right foot. Again, a blast goes wide. That one from about 35 yards out for Nicole Vernus. We'll showcase that strong right leg. Scored her first career goal last season against South Carolina. Scored twice after having to sit out her freshman year in 2019 with stress fractures. She said it was incredibly disappointing, but she was able to utilize that first year in 2019 as almost being able to look at that season as a coach, watching from the sideline.
I used to see her while doing broadcasts here at Donald R. Disney Stadium. I used to see her on the sidelines juggling the ball, and you could see the skill that she has just from her juggling, the touch, the quality. And now that we're seeing it on the pitch, I mean, it's evident that she is a really talented player.
UCF, Kristen Scott on that far side. Got knocked down in the process, was looking for Mallory Olson. Now Talsel undercut, whistle promptly comes. This foul will be on Madison Mernon. So the Gators will have a free kick. Looking for that elusive first win for Gator head coach Tony Amato in orange and blue after 8 seasons with Arizona. 19th season overall as a head coach for Coach Amato, hired in late May 24th, and he said it was certainly a tough process just getting acclimated here in Gainesville, all the things that he had to do to make sure, one, get his staff together, move his life from Arizona to Florida, and then get a chance to not just meet and talk with the players, but earn their trust over Zoom. That's not easy to do. As Kristen Scott eludes Eaton Collins. Here's Scott, dribbles inside the box, centers off, keeper out, Goldberg smothers. Shamlow was the closest to it, the transfer from Notre Dame, but Goldberg makes a play.
On her toes, quick steps, ready for what's coming forward. She's ready for the shot, sees the pass, attacks the pass. Good goalkeeping by Goldberg.
And Coach Amato said, you need to have a goalkeeper if you want to win games, and it sounds elementary, but you need a goalkeeper that has the ability to make plays, and that's what we've seen. That extra difficult play is what Alexa Goldberg at times has been forced to make, especially in that first game against South Florida. Faced 20 shots, had to make 13 saves, and it's only her second career start.
And we're just talking about goalkeeping, right? But she is a player, Alexa Goldberg. She played in high school, played midfielder. So she has a good touch as well. So if they need to rely on possession, giving her like a tough ball back, they can rely on her. And it's so good to be an outfielder and have that safety, knowing that your goalie, not only can she make saves, but she could also play out with her feet.
10 minutes in, still scoreless. Florida and UCF here from Donald R. Disney Stadium today. Good crowd. Mostly clad in orange and blue, some Knights fans in gold and black. Here in the stands in front of us. Got word from Sports Information Director Mary Howard that Bobby Fink is in the crowd, Olympic gold medalist, former Florida Gator. Good to have Bobby here.
Michael Phelps gave him a couple shout-outs during the Olympics. Pretty big.
Of course, Caleb Dressel winning some gold medals as well. Florida Gator. Here's Corey Peace. Plays to a right for Alexander, goes wide Lefersky, angling inside the 18, but the offside flag was up. Lefersky, hands by her hips, didn't like it, but that far side official quickly put that flag up.
Just a little step away. I feel like she was trying to measure that offsides line in her head, but she just got one step ahead. But good job by the linesman.
And we saw that on Sunday, Juan. That offside flag it went up a lot in that game against Texas, and there were some that were very close that could have been the difference in the game. With some 1v1 opportunities.
It's chemistry. It's timing the run of that forward and that midfielder, you know, timing her touch and her movement to get that ball over the defense. Also, the more long balls you play, the more chances there's going to be on offsides. Right now, the Gators are playing more to the feet, more possession. They look way better than they did in the opening 15 minutes last game against Texas.
Cam Hall trying to play it up the channel towards Lefersky. And whipped back to center by Cara Young. Chipped ahead, Mallory Olson, the only one there. And Anna De Leon will angle it all the way back to Alexa Goldberg, who pops it towards that far touchline. Scott, the header, inside the box. Kennedy tries to steer everyone clear. It's volleyed over the top of the bar. A dangerous ball. Trescott Shamlow got the right foot on it, just arcs over the crossbar.
I'll tell you something. If your goalkeeper isn't telling you to leave it alone, you clear it. Especially if you have your back turned to the rest of the field. A little bit of a miscommunication there that could have ended in a goal. Luckily for the Gators, the ball goes over the crossbar.
Kennedy was trying to shield off Shamlow. Just got that right foot to it. And arcs it over the bar as we still remain scoreless. About 12 minutes in. You mentioned Florida playing a much better start to this game than what we saw. Coach Amato said it took until about the hydration break, about 20 minutes in, for this team to really make the necessary adjustments and start to play better.
And that shouldn't be the case at any time. You should be on your toes since the first minute, even before the game. Warm-ups.
Vernus goes to center for Alexander. As the eyes up, Tozel gets it at her right foot. Dribbling forward, and Katie Bradley takes it away. Nice combination with Kristen Scott. Scott, 2 goals against Texas in a 4-0 win last week. Couldn't maneuver traffic. Again, danger inside the box. Empty net. Shamlow gets it to the left foot. Knocked down by Collins. Does it trickle over the line? And they will say a goal for UCF. Chaos on that back end for the Gators defensively as it goes over the line and UCF takes a 1-0 lead.
Same exact situation as the last one, where there's a miscommunication. The keeper comes out a little bit late, not necessarily her fault, just miscommunication, and there's that disconnect that creates a mistake, and the Knights make the best out of it.
Shamlow with the goal. That's her first. And the first of, second of her career. Transfer from Notre Dame. Now Corey Peace quickly coming back the other end. Gets tripped up in the box. No whistle on Cara Young. Sweeps the right leg through and drills that one back to center. It was Eaton Collins who almost was able to clear that off the line on that prior goal. But UCF takes a 1-0 lead. Now it's Vernus who bends it in. Easily corralled by Delisle as the Knights now have a 1-0 lead. Officially, the goal from Trescott Shamlow in the 14th minute. Oh, so close. We don't have replay today, but have to think that was very close to maybe not going over that line. Credit the effort on that back line with the empty net to still try and make the play.
A little back heel always gets the crowd going.
Here's now Vernus. Guns on the gas. Gators don't have numbers. A 3-on-4. And a stout back line for UCF that allowed just 10 goals last year. Center backs Mathilde Kack, Ariel Young. You have Olivia Lewis, along with Carrie Young on that back line. Here's Peace on the far side channel. Nice footwork from Young. Now Scott up the far touchline. De Leon into traffic, goes out for a Florida throw-in. So how do the Gators respond now down an early goal?
They've responded well already. They have most of their possession in the last third of the Knights field, so they're already doing good in terms of the response. And they're playing better. They just have to keep their head in the game.
Ball cleared back to Sid Kennedy, taken away by Shamlos. Had an outstanding start in this first half. Taken right back by Kennedy. Now Cam Hall slots it through for an in-stride Alexander. Again, the Gators don't have numbers. They go wide Lefersky. Slowly dribbles in, chips it inside the 18, and was Kack with the clearance on the header. And played free towards Cam Hall, who wants a whistle, doesn't get it. She's furious right now.
Looks like she was on her way down, and momentum got the best of her.
Clearance from Sid Kennedy.
In that last offensive play, Kit Lefersky just wanted to lob that ball across the whole box to Nicole Vernus, who was wide open on the second post. Unluckily for her, the ball never made it there.
Shamlo right to Baxay. And the Gators played into space, like Juan mentioned. They've really responded nicely with controlling possession after that initial goal. After the defensive mishap on the back line. Created an empty net scenario, and Shamlo was able to tuck it in. Now Peace goes wide left, Vernus. Maneuvers to her right, chips it in. Lefersky sprints in, not nearly in time as Delisle will scoop it up.
Right now, the Gators are facing just a really physical defense. Players that are tall and they're strong. So they're trying to look for those spaces in behind them just to be able to inflict some pain on that goal.
Here's Madison Murnan, fifth-year senior from nearby Jacksonville, Florida. One of two captains along with Delisle. Spent the summer in Orlando with the UCF training staff, really building her strength. Second team All-American last year for number 20 in white. Nice quick move from Carrie Young. UCF has now scored 4 first-half goals to the first game and change to begin their year. And scored 3 against Texas last Thursday. That was Caroline Delisle's 13th career shutout. Ball far side, Tozzel. Trying to tussle with Murnan. Now De Leon plays it to center. Here's Bradley. Ball free, Madison Alexander whips it wide for Lefersky. Long ball ahead, Corey Peace, look at the speed. Stops on a dime, tries to maneuver past Young, cannot. And Ariel Young, that's what they've been missing on that back line over the last 2 years because of injury. Solid center back from Ottawa, Canada.
Tall too.
Nearing 6 foot on that back line. Member of Canadians' U17 women's national team. Nice maneuver from Shamlo, just cycloning past a pair of defenders on this near touchline. Plays it to center, Mallory Olson, the Miami transfer. Also a native of Gainesville on this UCF roster, Daria Rajay, number 21 in white, the senior midfielder.
She had a goal and an assist last game against Texas.
Went to St. Francis Academy. I'm sure this game means a lot to her, Daria Rajay. One 0 UCF leads. Over 25 minutes to go here in this first half. Gators still searching for that first half goal this year. Ariel Young dribbling slowly towards the midline. Young going the distance from that center back spot. A great ball for the outside back, Carrie Young. Circles towards center. Nice sliding stop by De Leon. Gators claim. Alexander, inventive ball over the top for Peace. And now Lefersky with some imagination goes across the grain for Vernus. One touch, Alexander. Gators to the final third, but again, Ariel Young with that left cleat. And UCF will maintain possession. The Knights have won the last 2 in this all-time series, have scored now the last 6 goals in this all-time series. They've shut out the Gators in 2019-2018. Won those 2 games by a combined 5-0 score, including a game in 2018, which they had postponed due to a lightning delay, had to start over after UCF had a 3-0 lead. Came back the next day to beat the Gators by a 3-0 score. Now Kristen Scott is trying to find an overlapping run from Rajay. Slowly goes towards that end line where Georgia Eaton Collins, seeing her first start, will play it free for De Leon.
And De Leon, a defender that really did not play much last season, I think short of 25 minutes. She's been playing a lot of minutes this season. She's a player that Tony Amato believes in, and she's been doing well. She's playing that right back position, a position where you have to be organized. You have to know what your role is and follow it. So far, she's done just that.
De Leon, the native of California, just 2 games last year, made her debut against South Carolina. Saw a lot of debuts last season against SEC teams, as was the case. Gators played nothing but league games in an 8-game fall schedule. So you had a lot of players. Their first taste of college soccer was against the best of the best in the SEC. There was no buffer or normal schedule like you see again this year.
But those games made them stronger. For example, Alexa Goldberg, I believe she conceded 4 goals against Missouri that season. Look at her now. And other players who also got a lot of playing time, who were freshmen at the time, they're up and running this season, and they look really up to level.
Substitutions early. Julianne Leskaukis comes in, the sophomore midfielder transfer from Rutgers, along with Maddie Rhodes. We'll see early time. Corey Peace, Madison Alexander take an early seat with 22 and change to go for the first half. Knights a 1-0 lead.
Substitutions that make sense. Both of them were already slugging up a little bit, being a little bit slow, and it's because of all the running they've been doing, all the runs, all the hustling in defense too. Now come 2 fresh legs, 2 fresh pairs of legs, and they should be adding some energy in the last 20 minutes of this half.
Maddie Rhodes started the game against Texas, second game coming off the bench. Here's Leskaukis, a late addition to this Florida program. A transfer came over in the month of August from Rutgers. Here spins on the defender. Thought about a cross, keeps possession, finds Vernus, streaking through. Nicole Vernus has one deflect out in front, was knocked down in the process, and Delisle will be there to pick it up.
This is only the second game I see Leskauskas play, and something that she likes to do is a lot of twists and turns just to throw off the defender. Last game it was a little bit rough against Texas, but right now she was just subbed in. She has a little bit energy in her. I feel like she feels a little bit more comfortable, so she's looking better.
Julianne Leskaukis from Brielle, New Jersey, Jersey Shore. first day with the program was August 2nd. Day she was announced with the program for the start of fall camp. Made 16 starts at Rutgers. Led the team in minutes in an NCAA tournament game against Clemson. Set high school records for a single season for goals scored with 29, so she provides that electricity offensively on this outside. Rajay, good long ball over the top, looking for Kristen Scott. Scott met by De Leon. Circling inside the touchline.
The Gators have to avoid Scott going on a straight line. You can tell that when she picks up the ball and goes forward, there's no stopping that.
Meanwhile, substitution line for UCF. Madison Mernon comes out. Talia Gabara comes in from Annapolis, Maryland in her junior season. 3rd year in the program. As the Knights will throw in. Tossel inside the box. Still free for Olsen. Sends one back post and whistles wide.
Powerful shot. That finesse shot, second post. Very hard to block. And a little bit lucky, hinges off.
It's turned into a picturesque evening that will turn into tonight. Lights are on, not taking effect on the field quite yet. Have some different cloud formations overhead. See some blue skies, but a lot of clouds, again, keeping that late evening sun away from these players. A nice cooling feel right now here in Gainesville after it was almost close to 100 degrees on Sunday with the humidity. Both teams, Florida and Texas, battling through that. Leskowskis now on the run, and the offside flag is up for the 2nd time in this game on the orange and blue.
Just eager to get forward. Yeah. Eager to get forward. Not really looking at the line, looking more at the passer. Unlucky.
Tilt Cack will take the free kick. The native of France powers it forward. Nice initial header from Sid Kennedy. Lewis along that stout back line for Young. A couple of Youngs on the back line, Kara and Ariel Young. De Leon trying to get forward. And knocked out of play. UCF has one of the tougher schedules, I would say, in the country. And Tiffany Roberts-Sahadak saying that, look, I don't have an ego. We need to play these games and take some bumps and bruises. Here's Maddie Rhodes all the way to the end line. Dribbles in, plays it back towards Furness, top of the box. Knocks it down with the right foot. Cam Hall, the first touch, deflected free, bodies tangle. Furness still has it, chips it through. Leskowskis, left-footed, ball goes in, but the flag goes up.
Really good combination of play, especially from Maddie Rhodes to make that cutback pass over the defense. Leskowskis there thought she had scored, but again, just one leg offsides.
Just a touch offside, Juan, from almost tying the game for Leskowskis. Would have been her first Gator goal. Instead, we remain 1-0. And now UCF quickly on the counterattack. It's Gabara. Olsen, wide of the area. Had a shot wide of the frame earlier. Stops on a dime. Swipes one through. Cut down by Furness and cleared by Leskowskis. We look at the schedule that UCF has ahead, including a Power 5 game today, but their first 7 games are against Power 5 opponents. Katie Bradley sends one back towards the brick wall and wide. Did deflect free, so will be our first corner for either side in this match, and it goes to UCF. Matt, you look at the, or I should say Juan, I called you Matt Stubbington there for a second. I know Matt's watching as just a crutch. But key games for UCF, games against LSU, number 10 Penn State, number 3 North Carolina. It's just a few of the non-conference games that UCF has moving forward. as Bradley will drill it in on the corner. Young, the only one to get a piece of it, and clears it back towards the flank. The activity from Cam Hall. Inside 16 minutes to go for the first half. 1-0 Knights lead on the Shamlo goal early in this one after a defensive miscue in the 14th minute. So it gave the Knights the early lead.
Going back to the Knights' schedule, that game against North Carolina seems scary. And when you're talking about non-conference games, you think games where, you know, you can lay back a little bit. You can test out new formations. You can test out new players. But when you're playing against teams like Penn State, North Carolina, I mean, that sensation of going in there to test stuff turns into, we got to go win. We got to show that we're better than them.
Gators will play North Carolina as well coming up a couple weeks. Crossed off towards Olsen. Chipped out to Vernus, who volleys it along to Matty Rhodes. Gators certainly don't have an easy schedule to start. A couple of top 20 teams, including tonight. I mentioned we'll have North Carolina, also Florida State next week. Look at the speed for Lefersky all the way to the end line. Plays it into space, cut down by Rajay. And Kerry Young sweeps it free. Was looking for Vernus, who was trailing the play. There you saw Lefersky showcase the speed.
It's one of the things that I look for when I come watch the Gators. It's just Lefersky down the flank, just beating defenders. And if she gets beat, guess what? She's going to turn around and chase after whoever took it away from her.
There's two players when you watch Florida just kick it into another gear, and that's Lefersky and Corey Peace.
Just impressive.
Ball lobbed ahead. Shamlo trying to win the foot race with Kennedy, and does. Maintains possession, centers towards center for Olsen. Powers one through all the way back off the building.
Just a lot of like explosion in that attack. A lot of power. You got Olsen, who's the striker, the big striker, and then the wingers are just, whenever they get a chance, they'll beat their player and just take it down the line and look for the big striker, which is Olsen. And she clearly has a kick on her.
Ellie Moreno comes in for UCF, the junior from Winter Park, Florida. All-conference second team last year in the American. Did not play in the first game, so we'll see her first minutes of the year. Last year, scored 2 goals, 4 goals in her first year in 2019, so she is an offensive presence off the bench for Tiffany Roberts-Zahadak. 6 in the back of the net in her career, including a couple of assists in over 1,200 minutes. Number 5 in white, now playing on the near side of the formation for UCF in that white jersey. Rajay looking for Scott, who stayed onside, but right towards Baksay. Leskauskas had a goal wiped away due to offside. Total of 12 shots in this game, 7 for the Gators, 5 for UCF. And shots on frame, 3 shots on frame for Florida, 1 for the Knights. Delisle's made all 3 saves for either keeper in this game for UCF in that black uniform.
You know, despite being down 1-0, if the half were to end like this, I feel like Coach Amato is going to be happy with it.
Matty Rhodes chips one inside the box, trying to work all the way through traffic. And plays back to Delisle, just trying to do it herself there in the box. You think of, Juan, you know, the ceiling for somebody like Matty Rhodes, who last year scored 3 goals, tied for 3rd on this team, but just her first year playing collegiately. And she had a reputation of scoring, scored 153 in her high school career. You think of what she can do at that attacking spot for Florida.
Lots of potential, and we've seen a little bit of it over the last 2 seasons. It would have been nice to see her and Data Olsen, who left to FSU, up there. That's something that I was looking forward to, but Matty Rhodes is definitely somebody who can take the ball forward and finish some goals.
Here's Gabara. The aforementioned Moreno circles on it off of Kennedy, and that stays towards the right of the corner flag. Will be a deep throw-in.
If there's something that Kennedy likes, it's a 1v1 battle. She might lose some, but she's going to remember the ones she loses and go at it in the next occasions.
Sid Kennedy last year transitioned to that outside back roll. As the offside flag will come up here, and Florida will have a free kick. Native of Nova Scotia, played in the Canadian youth system, did Kennedy. Last year, in her sophomore season, really was the first time that she got expanded reps, made 9 straight starts at one point. Last year was really just trying to simplify things, transitioning to that new position. Now here's Rhodes. Ball ahead for Lefersky. Guns on the gas, inside the box. Lefersky stops on a dime. Nice play by Kak, and Lefersky reclaims. For a trailing Rhodes, weaving through, goes wide for Lefersky. All the way to the end line, cuts inside the area. Lefersky, left-footed ball knocked down. Was there a handball? No whistle as Kak spins it away. Almost in the area, it looked like on first glance of a possible handball inside the box.
Kak did well. She put her hands behind, and it hit her sort of like bicep, tricep area. She did good defending there. And Kit Lefersky's just on another level this season. She wants it badly.
Really attacking that far flank. Now it's the outside back. Anna De Leon inside the final 10 minutes, first half, 1-0 Knights. De Leon across the grain, looking for Leskaukas. A header by Lewis. Furness again, looks for Kit Lefersky. Gets tripped up, whistle comes, and this is a good spot. Essentially a corner. Won't go down in the stats as that, but Lefersky, first things first, want to see her get to her feet. She said, I talked to her yesterday, and she said they call me the grandma of this team. 6-year playing college soccer for Kit Lefersky, and she's seen her production, at least to the first 2 games, really expand. And they need her to have that production really expand this season. If the Gators want to surprise some in the SEC, pick 10th in the preseason coaches poll.
I hope I can run that fast when I'm a grandpa.
Ball played short to Kennedy. Left-footed drive, sails high and wide. Lefersky said that her dreams are to one day, of course, play professionally. Once everything is done here at the University of Florida, and somebody who has gone through so much in her collegiate career, a couple of seasons missed due to injury. Of course, last year, the craziness for all things when it came to COVID. Right now, I believe the crowd giving a round of applause to Bobby Fink, who we mentioned earlier is here, the Olympic gold medalist from the University of Florida. Did the Gator chomp right in front of us and got a good round of applause from the crowd.
Deserved.
Yeah, I would say so. Meanwhile, Laney Steed, Olivia Gonzalez have checked onto the field for Tony Amato in blue.
Olivia Gonzalez is a really good substitution with less than 10 minutes left to go in the first half. It's just the energy that she has. She's one of those players that defends in that forward line.
And here she is, Gonzalez. Sails one wide of the bar. Last year, Gonzalez, her best moment came early in the season against Alabama. Scored a game-winning goal in the 89th minute. Couple of goals were the first of her career. Did not really play much her freshman season. And last year really featured in the attack at that forward spot. Just 14 minutes the other day against Texas, and seeing some final minutes here the first half. Now it's Moreno for UCF. Ball played through, looking for Olsen. Gators looking to equalize going into halftime. Leskaukas on the run. Gators have 9 shots, +4 in that shot margin, as we head towards the final 6.5 minutes. Volleyed free by Kak. As Sid Urban's checked in, she gets knocked down. Interesting change to the starting lineup coming in, Juan. No Sid Urban to begin this game, coming off the bench. Now Gonzalez. Nice one-touch, right-footed ball, knocked down by Lewis. Leskowskis will lob it in the area of Rhodes, trying to get back onside.
Going back to that comment about Sydney Urban, it's Georgia Eaton Collins is back. That's why.
Eaton Collins dealing with that foot issue. Leskowskis, nice touch. Goes to the corner for Gonzalez. Gonzalez left to the area. Leskowskis, one touch. Good ball fits through, but the flag again is up on the Gators. That'll be the 4th offside flag for the orange and blue in the first half.
Leskowskis is a player that has that special something. The way she lifts up her feet when she's in a 1v1 situation and the ball is stuck. She likes the feints and the pretty stuff, and it comes out well because she has good acceleration once she takes that second step after. She just has to connect with players a little bit more, and she is a transfer, so she still has some time to get used to that.
Ball out of play, and UCF will throw in on the far side in their defensive half. Difference right now, Trescott Shamlow scoring off a defensive miscue for the Gators on essentially an empty net in the 14th minute. Gators have forced Caroline Delisle into 3 saves. 1 goal wiped away due to an offside flag for the Gators. Now Olsen charging forward. Olsen ranges to her right, goes to Moreno. One touch inside the box, crosses off, back post, sails over everything. Kristen Scott, the closest knight towards that corner flag, will play it back into Gabara. Now slicing through, tripped up, and this will be a penalty kick. Maggie Jenkins was tripped up inside the box, and just like that, the Knights are on the verge of possibly taking a 2-goal lead.
The ref didn't even have to see anything. He just had to see Anna De Leon's reaction. Hands to head after the tackle, a little mistimed. She wasn't expecting her to speed through.
And now Daria Rajay will put it down on the spot. The Gainesville native back in Gainesville against the Florida Gators, a chance to put home a penalty against Alexa Goldberg. Stands in the center of the frame. Rajay, hands on hips. About 5 strides off. Whistle comes. Rajay, the approach, and she will score. Bottom left corner, the Gainesville native has given UCF a 2-0 lead.
She is the designated penalty taker for a reason. She took the penalty against Texas last week. She scored it, and she scores again.
So had the PK last week against Texas, and here puts home bottom left corner to give UCF a 2-goal lead, and now they've scored 5 first-half goals in the first game and change. And the Gators find themselves down an early 2 goals, and you'd have to say the run of play, Juan, has been in favor of Florida, but it just shows how fickle this sport can be, already down 2-0.
Yeah, just the starting lineups, it was more like when they started the game, it was more on Florida's side. But once the substitutions started kicking in, you could tell like players like Moreno, the right back from the Knights, has been really good on that side, putting some good crosses in there. I feel like maybe the Knights are a little bit deeper. We'll see what happens in the second half.
3.5 minutes to go in the first half. Gator fans trying to cheer on this group. Goal in the 41st minute for Rajay, penalty kick, now 2 for 2 in 2021 in PKs. Ball rolled through for Kennedy. Lobs to the far side for Riley Thompson, the freshman. Eaton Collins chips it forward, Thompson. Gators still trying to find the right lineup right now and the depth on that bench to see who can come in and make an impact. And Coach Amato putting in early the freshman Riley Thompson. That's part of not having many training sessions to this point as a team. You don't really know what you have in that depth right now. Gators are learning a lot of that when it comes to game action. Here's Kristen Scott. Gabarra one touch for Jenkins. Who caused that penalty, was tripped up in the box.
There are just so many variables when Coach Amato comes in with this new team in terms of like how you were talking about with depth. There's so many players on this roster. You have to look at each one of them. With 3-4 weeks, that's not enough time to see all those players play and what they can offer. These games that we're watching right now are going to be, it's that part of the plan to get to know those players a little bit better.
And talking with Coach Amato today, he said, again, there's so much we still have to evaluate with our own players, as opposed to, every day in practice is so valuable at this point in time for this program, with a new coaching staff, a group of players trying to learn a new coaching staff, a new coaching style, a new playing style, although Coach Amato has not really overhauled the system right now. He said, we're going to do what we do well with this roster. And this is a roster under Becky Burley for so many years that was technically gifted, and this roster is exactly that. It's a technically gifted group and a very smart group.
It's also a young group, so most of these players haven't played 3-4 years together, something that UCF has in their hand. It's a little bit different when you look at these two sides.
And UCF 7 seniors. Coach Zahadak saying it's kind of a relief this year because they have a lot of veterans with a lot of experience in years past that have to rely on a lot of younger players. And given that COVID year, you have freshmen and sophomores now that are classified as freshmen and sophomores, but they're more veterans because they have somewhat of a year under their belt.
But a year with 8 games is very different from that year with 20 games. And they did get a lot of experience, which is really good for them, but they're still looking to, have those games, play those games, live the experience.
Final 10 seconds of the first half. Delia will play it towards Ariel Young. We'll just lob that one free, and that will do it for the opening 45 minutes. UCF, an outstanding start in the opening 45 minutes. A 2-0 lead, first in the 14th. Trescott Shamlow with the goal. And then flashing ahead to the 41st, a penalty kick from the Gainesville native Daria. Goal with the right foot. Give the Knights a 1-0 lead, and then Daria Rajay, who is a Gainesville native, senior, 2 for 2 on PKs here in 2021. Had the opportunity for a penalty kick in the 41st minute to give the Knights a 2-goal lead. They've scored the last 7 in this all-time series unanswered. Gators will attack the goal to our right in the second half. UCF will attack the goal to our left. 15 total shots in the first half. 9 for the Gators, 6 for the Knights. 5 total on frame, 3 for the Gators and 2 for the Knights. Gators trying to come from behind, still looking for that first winning result of the year, coming off a draw the other day against Texas. And UCF trying to move to a perfect 2-0 through 2 games, with LSU, who's in the state of Florida, beat South Florida earlier today in the American, so they'll take on the Tigers coming up on Sunday at home. Gators will have possession early here in the second half. Again, for long stretches, Juan, they controlled the run of play, but the scoreboard doesn't show that.
It's patience. They have to have a little bit of patience. They got to stay true to what they believe in, and what they believe in right now is just that build-up play, progressive play. If they're able to nail it down in the first 15 minutes and get a goal, 2-0 is the scariest scoreline in soccer. They score one, momentum, the second, and then the third is just in the books, right? So they just have to stay focused and get an early goal.
Cam Hall whistle with the foul will be a UCF free kick. And the team, the Knights, coming off a season last year below 500 at 2-4-1, just the second time in program history that they were below 500 for a season. Now the context around that, they only played 7 games, an all-conference schedule given the COVID year, so a normal expanded year. Probably things may be a little bit different for the Knights last season. A team in those 7 games that did struggle to score, but they bring back a lot of returning experience. Here's Katie Bradley, a part of that experience. Moreno, one touch, Murnan. Now Murnan inside the box, left side, oversteps the ball, plays it back to Moreno. On this left side, circles in, ball deflects in front, and Baxe clears it over the touchline. You mentioned, Juan, the difference that Moreno brought to this team in the first half on that outside.
Yeah, the Trescott was actually playing very well. Trescott Shalom, and she came in and just one-upped her in terms of just running forward and unleashing crosses and beating Sid Kennedy. Now she's playing on the left side.
Ball lobs in the box. Cam Hall with the header to Murnan. Gets it on the right foot, 25 yards out from frame. Katie Bradley stumbles, reclaims, plays it wide right. Here's Shamlow now playing on that far side of the field. Shamlow, her second career goal in the first half. Her last season, did not score with Notre Dame. Just her second year in the UCF program. Junior midfielder from Ormond Beach, Florida. Only spent 1 year with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, played only 5 games. Anna De Leon spins it upfield. Lefersky keeps it in play. Nice individual effort from Lefersky to keep it in play towards De Leon. Now Eaton Collins, a strong ball that heads in the direction of Corey Peace. Nice header for Vernus. Gators have momentum forward. Now Peace inside the area, right side. Crosses off right to left and finds Delisle near post. Good sequence for the orange and blue, trying to create an opportunity early stages second half. Right towards Caroline Delisle, third year as starter in net for UCF. Had 10 shutouts her rookie season in 2019, 13 for her career, looking for another clean sheet tonight. And this her 27th career start. Shamlow, upfield, Lewis, off the shins of Tozel, deep throw in for the Knights, far side. Knights returned 10 players. Started more than half the games in spring. Again, their entire season last year in the spring, Gator season was split between the fall and the spring. Here's Vernus now. Not a good clean touch from Lefersky, trying to win it back from Kara Young. Nice hesitation step. Now Leskaukis seeing the start in the second half, plays it into space, but too much heat on it, looking for Peace on this near side. Vernus turns it upfield for Corey Peace. And fight off Rajay. Played back, Lefersky scans the scene. Only 2 goals scored this year have come from number 6 in orange and blue. Here attacks to the end line, sprints on it, sends it in front. And knocked down. I believe they'll say that was out of play over the end line, so it will be a goal kick.
Just inches out of play. Good build-up, though. Her and Corey Peace are getting along on that right flank. They just need a runner from the left side to just crash into the box so they can meet those crosses. So far, good from the Gators. UCF also looking to build up, but failing to.
And that's part of that connection piece that comes with more reps together as a team, right, Juan? When, you know, the connection on the crosses and trying to get those finishes in the final third, that's something that just comes with time.
Time, effort, and practice. Just those practices where, the shooting practices where there's combinations and somebody has to come in and finish a shot.
Ball played ahead inside the box. Near post, the shot is caught by Goldberg again. Shamlow with the right foot, trying to collect her first career brace.
That's Goldberg's first block of the night.
What an impressive start for Alexa Goldberg, native of St. Petersburg, Florida. Her first game this year, 13 saves, second most for a Gator goalkeeper in a single game. Jordan Kellgren had 16 in an Elite Eight game against UCLA in 2001. Coach Amato said, yeah, it was a great start from Alexa, but we don't need that many shots and that many saves. It doesn't bode well for this team.
It's good to have a good goalkeeper, right, in between the post, but it's also not good to just give her so much, shine, so much of that spotlight, because that just means that you're doing a poor job defensively.
Rajay will hover over it along with Mernon. Mernon bluffs to it. Rajay drills one in, a line drive header, skitters over the end line, will be a goal kick. And Coach Amato had told a funny story to me last week about, I believe when he got to, it might have been his last stop at Arizona, and he mentioned one of the goalkeepers came up to him when he first came here, I believe it was Arizona, said that, yeah, last year I led the league in saves, and Coach Amato said, well, that's not a good thing. We don't want our goalkeepers leading the league in saves. It means you're giving up way too many opportunities. Gators this year are trying to create more opportunities offensively, combining the system of years past to the newer system of Coach Amato as Moreno with the left foot drills one well wide. Madison Young has checked in for the Gators.
It's her first time playing with the Gators. Coach Amato was talking about the depth in defense, and she is one of the players that he mentioned that she still hadn't had any playing time yet, but that he was looking to bring her on, and this is her time to shine. She comes in for Sid Kennedy.
Yeah, that left outside back position for the freshman Madison Young. Seeing her first career minutes today. 2-0 Knights. About 8 minutes in to the second half. Baxay towards Collins. Taylor Baxay, an interesting story. Somebody who did not play very much at all as a Florida Gator until last season because of a lot of players missing due to COVID and injuries, and Taylor Baxay was essentially thrown into the mix at that center back spot, and here she's emerged as a starter this year.
And a leader too. Defensively, she's very sturdy. She's somebody who can go into a tackle, just slide, and then get back up in that same second. And from going to not playing at all to getting so many minutes, extraordinary.
As Lefersky laser beam near post. Was looking for Leskaukis in the area. Good idea from Kit Lefersky on the flank, but does not result in a goal as the Gators still remain scoreless. Knights have it now with Carrie Young, the transfer from Eastern Florida State College, 25 in white. Started her career at Arkansas. Didn't play many games there. Played just one season, did play 16 games with the Razorbacks, then went the JUCO route, back now to the Division I level.
Well, let me tell you, Eastern Florida is a really good school.
As Lefersky again redirects in front. Cack with the right foot, parachutes it free. Peace keeps it in play. Lefersky jogs towards the area, and Peace will play it off the shins of Moreno out of play for a deep throw-in.
Eastern Florida State is one of the best colleges when it comes to women's soccer in that division. And I'm not surprised she's here because they have a lot of talent running through those junior colleges.
At 14 points, 4 goals, 6 assists. This is played sharply off of Moreno, goes tumbling down off the left foot of Anna De Leon on this near side. Cam Hall off the throw-in. Middle of the field, Delaney Tozel. Goes wide from Madison Young. Tozel circling on it. Fits it through for Young. Leskaukis. Left-footed ball in the mixer. And the aforementioned Carrie Young plays it towards Cam Hall. Drilled back in, Lefersky onside. One touch on it. Left-footed ball is Kaukis. Circles on it. Again played free. Corey Peace spearing through, has it on the right foot amidst traffic, and Olivia Lewis able to swipe it free with the right foot.
Olivia Lewis did the clearing there, but Ariel Young's big buddy just got in the way, just obstructing Corey Peace from taking that shot.
Initially got that one down to her right foot. And might have had a good opportunity, but UCF on that stout back line against Swarms as they're looking for their second shutout to start the year. Substitution, Murnan comes out. Talia Gabara saw a lot of first half minutes, will come in. Gabara had a great start to her UCF career, 2 goals in first 4 career games at the college level, playing in that midfield. Now Lewis, foot race with Tozel, goes out near the scorers table. Juan, what are you seeing from Florida specifically here to start in the second half, just overall?
I was just glancing over at the formation, and it's very similar from the first half. Just a 4-3-1-2, a central one behind the 2 strikers. Not a lot of width, and that's what we're seeing, just very direct play going forward. Not so much passing and trying to build up with possession. Just more of a direct outlook on the game, and they just want to get a goal on the board early.
How about UCF to start here in the opening minutes?
Well, UCF, their coach just made a substitution. They took out one of their best players, which is Murnan, and put in Gabara. And I feel like she is not, the coach is not getting what she wants in that midfield. They want more possession. They want that possession. They want to dictate the game and just keep the Gators at bay.
Ball lobbed all the way over the end line for a goal kick coming up for UCF. Another substitution, Madison Alexander. We'll hand the penny to Delaney Tozel, so enter Madison Alexander into the mix. Gabara, the lone change so far for UCF in this second half. 13-plus minutes in. Talked to Coach Amato earlier today, and you talk about his upbringing, and he's a Florida guy, grew up in Naples, moved to the state of Florida when he was 7 years old, but he's a Philadelphia guy at heart, grew up in Levittown, Pennsylvania, just outside Philadelphia. And he said he knew I was from New Jersey, so he said, "Oh, you're a Giants fan?" And I said, "No, thankfully." But he's an Eagles fan, Flyers, Sixers, so he's a big Philadelphia guy. Although he really spent most of his life in the state of Florida before moving out to Stephen F. Austin and University of Arizona.
If I know something about Philadelphia is that they take their sports very seriously.
I'd say so, yeah.
And always characters coming out from there. Every person that I meet is a character, and Amato is one of them.
Meanwhile, foul was called as Lefersky was tripped up. Edge of the final third for the Gators. Nicole Vernis will take it, right hand in the air. 3-step approach, right-footed ball, arcing inside the box. Ball still free, goes back post, spiked in front and saved. Taylor Baxay got a right foot on it. Oh, so close to putting the Gators on the board.
When you look at plays like that one, you just feel, that sense of like, it's so impossible to score, Given the last 2 games that these teams have played against each other, the Gators have struggled to score against UCF, and you see that clear chance, and Delisle is able to just block that, and not only block it, but keep it in her hands. Really good goalkeeping from her.
Yeah, great play by the veteran goalkeeper, Caroline Delisle. Reigning American Conference Goalkeeper of the Week after 5 saves and 90 minutes of work and a 4-0 win against Texas. Had a great moment in her first year as a Knight. Had 10 saves against rival South Florida. En route to a season where she had 10 shutouts. In her first year, redshirted in 2018. First year playing was 2019. Meanwhile, the Gators will send out Laskaukis and Peace. looks like coming in for the Gators, Maddie Perello is stepping on for the first time tonight. And Lainey Steed also has come on. UCF back the other way, attacking the goal to our left. Katie Bradley, the sophomore. 2-0 Knights in front. Both goals coming in the first half. One early, one late in the opening 45. Olivia Lewis from the back line. Plays it into traffic. Georgia Eaton-Collins lifts it back to the middle of the field. Lewis on that far touch line. Chipped along, Moreno stays onside, collects it right side of the 18, centers in front, and Collins will clear. Nice first move from Madison Young as the Gators quickly look to get back on the counterattack. Vernus, the vision ahead. Lefersky stays on, keeper's out. Lefersky oversteps the ball, brings it back to the top of the box. Perello. Maybe one too many touches that time for the Gators as it's cleared over the far touchline.
When you go on a run directly to goal and you feel that presence of the three defenders chasing you, you know, the nerves start kicking in, and she's not on her preferred right foot, so she tries cutting into her right. Just a little bit difficult for her there.
Gators still held out of the net, did not score against Texas until the 87th minute. That was the tie of the game, some late dramatics. What turned out to be a double OT draw. Shamlo being harassed on that far side, goes out for a Florida throw-in in their attacking half. Lainey Steed just dumps that in the corner, didn't have the communication with her teammate who was offside.
Something to note from UCF is just the free-flowing soccer that they play. You can't really keep tabs on what position each player is playing. They like to tuck in, and like one player checks in, the other one runs from behind. It's just really organized soccer when they're in possession. Here come the Gators.
Vernus chips it in, keeper out, Steed in, ball still free, and that's lifted along. Aggressive play from Caroline Delisle all the way out from net.
And she's big too. She's a tall keeper. She's powerful. Whenever she's coming out, it seems like just a lot going your way.
Delisle listed at 5'10". Scott met with contact from Eaton-Collins. Look at Kristen Scott with the foul.
Good defending by Eaton-Collins. Just lowering her head a little bit just to get that contact. And whatever contact comes into the head, you know the referee's going to blow the whistle.
Meanwhile, UCF led by Tiffany Roberts-Zahadak. This is her 9th season, 15th season overall as a head coach, looking for her 93rd win. So she's collapsing upon 100 in her Knight head coaching career. Was hired in May of 2013. Three-time American Conference Coach of the Year. Former head coach at VCU from 07 to 2012. Her husband is on the staff, Tim Zahadak, who's been here all 9 seasons as well. And Coach Zahadak, she's been a success everywhere that she's gone, essentially. She's been to 4 NCAA tournaments with UCF, including a Sweet 16 run. And this year, like we outlined before, a very tough schedule for the Knights. This ball played over the end line. UCF will have a goal kick coming up. 25 and change to go for the game. 2-0 Knights lead.
Yeah, at this point of the game with 25 minutes left, you know, it's always, you need to get a goal fast. You need to get a goal quickly, but time's ticking and there's not much going on. There have been some attacks, but it has to be more cut and clear for the Gators to get back in this game.
Ball angled back to Delisle. Goes wide for the French-born player, Mathilde Cack. Again, a beautiful night here in Gainesville. It was raining this afternoon. Kind of really cooled the temperature for game time, around 7 o'clock start to this one. About 81 degrees at the start of this game. It's dipped into the 70s. Gabarra for UCF. Knights just playing keep away with a 2-goal lead. Gators have led in the chances in this game, but it's been the Knights who have put them away. Ball rolled along. Moreno, right flank, and good trailing defensive play by Baxay. Puts it over the touchline.
If you really look at it, it's been 2 mistakes. Just a penalty kick, a little rookie mistake there from Ana de Leon. She's had a really good game besides that, as she's coming off right now. And the other one, just miscommunication in the back. And it happened twice in a row, and they got punished the second time. But other than that, it's been an even game. There hasn't really been too much of a difference. And the Gators have played, if you were to choose one, the Gators have played a little bit better.
CC Price has come on, played the right outside back position. Madison Mernon has come back on for UCF. Again, in the second half, women's college soccer, you can leave and re-enter once. Talia Gabara, near side flank. Angle back to Ariel Young. Their defensive third is UCF. Looking for their 6th win over the Gators in program history. And what could be their 5th shutout victory against the Gators all time. The speed from Lewis, right channel. Shamlow angles it back to Lewis. Circles the center, looks for Gabara, plays it on the left foot. Right-footed ball, far side, and offside was Ellie Moreno.
Ellie Moreno's a really interesting player. She's gone from playing sort of like a right back, right wing position to that right wing, a little bit more forward, more advanced. And now she's playing central. She's playing striker. She moves a lot. She's able to give the players around her pockets of space to crash in. And it's just a perfect player to like play alongside in a forward line.
Second team all-conference last year. Should say, yep, last year. All-rookie team 2 years ago for Moreno. Kristen Scott inside the box, looking for Moreno. Initially cleared by Collins. Regained by Scott, played off the chest of Collins. And lifted out by Madison Young. Right now on that back line, it's Ariel Young, along with Mathilde Kack. Olivia Lewis and Daria Rajay is playing on that back 4 for UCF. CC Price, line drive along this near side to Mernon. Rajay now playing that center back spot. So Knights try to get forward.
That's a free-flowing soccer. She comes down from that center defensive mid position to fill in for a center back just to be an option. It's just nice stuff that we're seeing from UCF.
Moreno on the left channel. Goes wide left to the 18, Scott. Lobs it over Goldberg, and does that go in? No, goes up and over. Boy, that looked from our vantage point, Juan, like that went in the back right of the goal, but just went over the bar.
My mouth stayed open for quite a little bit there, just trying to figure out what happened. But yes, it goes just over. Goldberg has her angle set correctly.
Able to guide that one over the crossbar. Scott almost earning her 3rd goal of the year. Kristen Scott only played 5 games last year. Had some knee issues. Actually celebrated a birthday earlier this week on Tuesday. Native of Orlando, Florida, so a local product from Edgewater High School. Crosses right towards Collins. An angle back to that back line for Ariel Young.
She's also one of 2 sisters. Kaylee Scott is on the bench right now.
Yeah, Kaylee Scott, number 22, did play against Texas, played a sizable number of minutes, 43 minutes. And has yet to play tonight. Kaylee is sophomore while Kristen is a senior. And I watched something earlier this week, Kaylee talking about Kristen and just kind of the tough love that she's given her since coming to UCF to make her a better player at this level. As a yellow card comes out, Lefersky, the one who was shouldered down to the ground. Moreno trying to plead her case.
Maggie Jenkins checked in for UCF. She's from New Zealand, has experience playing in the youth levels in New Zealand, and I think she even has a senior cap with them.
Yeah, played in U17 and the U20, the FIFA Women's World Cup with New Zealand. Did play with the senior national team as well. Knights a 2-0 edge, 19.5 left. Looking for their third straight win in this all-time series. The first time they've ever won back-to-back in this series in 18 and 19, and they're trying to now add to that winning streak. Substitutions abound for the Gators. Anna De Leon re-enters. Sid Kennedy does as well, along with Corey Peace. And Olivia Gonzalez has come on too.
This is the perfect timing for Olivia Gonzalez to get in here. She's gonna she doesn't care what the scoreline is. She's just gonna run and track defenders and make their lives a living nightmare. Also, she can score goals too. In high school, she did so a lot, and in her previous seasons at UF, she's done it too.
All-time leading goal scorer at Pinellas County, 117 in her high school career. Now Sid Kennedy for the Gators in the attacking half. Goes wide for the aforementioned Gonzalez, and the flag is up.
I'm sure that if we look back at the players who have been offsides, it's mostly newly subbed in players, and that has a lot to do with it. When you make a lot of substitutions, not everybody's on the same pace, on the same stride, and in between Laskowska's and Gonzalez, there's been quite a bit of misunderstanding when it comes to doing runs and staying in line.
Ball from Scott past Moreno trickles back to Goldberg, and you hope those are some of the things that get cleaned up moving forward for the Gators. They'll have Miami coming up on Sunday. Struggling program of the Miami Hurricanes. Was actually the final game that Becky Burley coached as Florida Gator head coach. Ball still free. Alexander trying to get there, but Ariel Young slides it towards the far touchline. A moment for this Gator fan base to try and get to their feet. Gonzalez, left-footed ball, wide at the near post.
On her weak foot, good try, but it's hard to hit it from that angle and try to put it on frame.
We mentioned Becky Burley, now the interim head coach of the Orlando Pride, the NWSL, and news today, former Gator Parker Roberts is now signed with that team, so Parker and Becky will be reunited on the professional level. Parker, one of the great workers on the field, that was just a Swiss Army knife in what she can do. An incredible player for this Florida team after transferring over to Kansas and getting a well-deserved honor to be a professional soccer player, which is certainly long overdue.
And the Orlando Pride, that's coming off some seasons of really bad seasons. This is their first really good season in a while, and it's good to see that Becky Burley has been a part of that.
Meanwhile, Juan, Ariel Young is the one who's down for UCF, trying to stretch out that left leg. They're holding off the trainer for the time being because they don't want to sub her out. As Young is getting to her feet, now walking around. Both teams head to their benches. And what a shift that Young has put on the field tonight, the native of Ottawa, Canada. We talked about her story before. They had a lot of expectations for Ariel Young coming into UCF, but injuries really derailed the start of her Knight career in 2019 and last season. So this is just her second collegiate game played. Has played in the Canadian youth system for the U17, the Women's World Cup team, and getting to see some of her first action as a Knight this year. A naturally left-footed player, just a big presence on that back line, incredibly tactical and technical, and she will step out, still favoring that left leg.
And we've seen it tonight. We've seen what she's been able to do, and you mentioned that she hasn't played. This is only her second game with UCF, but in terms of those expectations, now she has new expectations, and I think she's meeting all of them. given the way that she has played 90 minutes in a 4-0 shutout against Texas last week. I'm sure she's happy with how things have gone this season so far, early this season.
Knights in front by 2 goals, 17 minutes to go. Olivia Lewis played back towards Olivia Gonzalez. Ball deflects to the far touchline off the feet of Cack into the Gator bench. Will be a Knight throw-in.
Where are you, man? Can you hear me?
Team with 7 seniors for the UCF Knights, trying to utilize that experience here tonight. Here's one of them, Mallory Olson. Right end line, sends it in front, looking for Kristen Scott, and it's the left foot of Collins. Directs it over the end line for a corner. And the Knights will have a set piece opportunity in what is their 3rd corner of the match. Should say 2nd corner of the match, and only 2 total corners in this game. Not many set piece opportunities on either side. Gators looking to defend the corner a little bit better this year. That was a part of their kryptonite last season. A set piece defense. Rajay lobs it across. Scott, the closest to it, deflects out to Mernon. Takes an extra touch, puts it into the mixer. Does not go off the hand, says the official of Madison Young, and Cack reclaims. As now Kristen Scott, I believe, is still down near the post. Trying to stretch out that left leg. Ball lobbed across for Mernon as Scott is still down holding that left leg. And now whistles finally stop plays. They'll attend the injured player.
It's odd to see the game stop with the player being outside of the pitch. More odd not to see the trainer go and take care of her. Looks like it's a cramp on a calf.
Yeah, they're trying to stretch out that left leg right now in the same way you would if it was a cramping leg.
Yeah.
As the trainer comes out, and these are the types of things that you get, especially early in the season, and especially when you have some of the hotter games here in the state of Florida. And it's Kristen Scott being stretched out. 16 career goals for Kristen Scott. 14 of them came in her first 2 years. What a debut. And the 1-2 punch of Scott and Mallory Olson up top for UCF. This is a team that they were picked 5th in the American, but I just think it has too much experience and too much talent to not finish higher, at least in the top 2 or 3 in the league.
Looking at rankings before the season starts and before conference play starts, it's a little bit deceiving. There's new players coming in. There's sometimes managerial changes. And this UCF side is one to be scared of if you are in their division.
Scott still being stretched. That left leg is what they're working on behind the goal to our left. So they'll play on here with 15-14 to go. So they play it back to Caroline Delisle. And the Knights ranked for the first time coming into this game since 2019. They were 21st nationally in October of that season. Now back in the top 25 after a 4-goal thrashing against Texas. Trying to take down Florida for a 3rd straight time. Gonzalez, ahead of the field for Corey P. Steps into it right towards Delisle.
It's just something about going up against Delisle. Big body, just cuts out the angles. She takes 2 steps forward, and there goes all the angles for the forward. Good goalkeeping, and Kit Lefersky was on the far side, but when you're a striker and you're in that position, you just got to let your leg go and swing at it.
Remains a 2-goal lead for UCF. Trying to make it a 3-goal advantage. It's Shamlow, who scored in the first half to break the scoreless tie. And now we'll have a whistle as looks like legs colliding with Baxay and Shamlo. It's Baxay to get to her feet first. And now we'll stop the clock with 14:01 to go.
That was such good baseball, dude. Dude, West Coast can do that.
Words of encouragement from that Gator bench right now from head coach Tony Amato. And Shamlo gets to her feet. This was described by Coach Amato as a dream opportunity. He mentioned before, grew up in the state of Florida, played high school and collegiately in Florida, played at Rollins, was able to coach at his alma mater at the Division II level, took that school to the NCAA tournament, and then was able to progress forward to the Division I level to Stephen F. Austin, then to the University of Arizona, and take that program to heights that it has not been in a long time. And he's trying to bring this Florida program back to the NCAA tournament where it's been on 22 separate occasions.
He took a losing program in Arizona and made it a competitive program. And that's not something that can't be taken lightly. That takes a lot of work. It takes from the scouting, from the actual coaching, from getting along with the players and getting along with the community and the university. And I believe that's exactly what he needs to do here at Florida.
Took over a team that was 2 seasons removed at Arizona from a 1-win year, 116-2, and went to 5 NCAA tournaments, including in 3 of his final 4 years. Lobbed across, Goldberg out, punches it free. Gabarra trying to collapse upon it, but not before Baxay rainbows it towards the middle third. Lefersky trying to utilize that physicality, can't keep it in play, but it will be Florida possession as they quickly try to move inside the final 13 to go. Nice touch from Peace, but nice play by John Toff. The defender gets it over the end line. The Gators will have just their first corner of the match.
There we see them linking up again, Corey Pease and Kit Lefersky. That's a partnership that we're going to see often this season combine.
Les Kaukis will take it. Trying to make this a 1-goal game. Left-footed ball goes short to Alexander. Return Les Kaukis, and the offside flag is up again. Can't seem to find that right communication right now in the final third.
It's a weird play from my point of view, just giving it back to the player who takes the corner. It's usually going to end in an offsides.
Gators now in this game whistle for 6 offside penalties. As Collins clears that over the scores table, and the clock now continues to tick. UCF will take on LSU coming up. We mentioned their tough schedule before, but the Gators, it is not getting much easier after Miami on Sunday. Certainly a winnable game for the Gators. And then you take on the top team in the country in Florida State on the road. And then a few games after that, North Carolina on your home field. So really tough week or so coming up for Florida after this week.
That game against UM has to be a win. It's just in this schedule that they have right now, it just has to be a win. It's the most winnable team that they have.
Gabarra goes wide for Jade Steele. Plays it across. Les Kaukis lifts it towards Lefersky. Rajay, the Gainesville native, gave the Knights a 2-goal lead on a penalty kick late stages of the first half in the 41st. Now Maggie Jenkins spins off pressure. Not a great ball in the box. Angle back to Steele. Overlapping run from Gabarra, but they go to Olsen. Has the alleyway, a bending ball, a dangerous one from Mallory Olsen. Saved by Goldberg. Nice idea from Mallory Olsen, former Miami product, Miami Hurricane. as the Gators hustle towards the attacking end. Throw it on the far side for Corey Peace, and this will result in a corner. Or I should say a goal kick coming up as that went off Peace.
One thing that I have noticed is the forwards need a little bit more support. Going forward, I'm pretty sure Coach Amato is going to find a way to give them that support, whether it be the midfielders running a little bit more or maybe placing some players wide so that they can lay off the ball to wider areas so they can find their footing going forward. It's just something like that has to happen.
Leskauskas arcs it in towards Mernon, clears it back out. Leskauskas left flank. Left-footed ball drilled through and goes wide. Lefursky on a supportive run in the center of the 18. Just a little too tall.
I like Leskauskas. She's a really good pickup to bring into this team. She offers something different, a little bit of flair, and she has a good idea of where to put the ball. Also, when it comes to making contact with the ball, good finesse, good power. She knows what she's doing.
Clock now inside 9 minutes to go. UCF trying to head to 2-0. First true road game of the year for UCF. First time in Gainesville since 2019 when they won by the same exact score. It was Kristen Scott who put away that game with the insurance goal in the 85th minute. Throw in for Mernon. Lefursky plays it through the legs of Jade Steele. The talented 6-year player into space for Sid Kennedy. Guns on the gas, but just can't get there to beat Lewis, who clears it into that Gator bench. Backsay, high arching ball. Alexander, the closest one to it. The Gators will just flip sides of the field. Crowd trying to cheer this team on. We have a substitution. Georgia Eaton-Collins. Delaney Tozzel comes in. Looks like the Gators won. Are they going with 3 in the back right now?
Yeah, they're trying to put as many players forward. Right now it's just going to be Young, Backsay, and De Leon in the back.
Lefursky in the right corner. And this one will sail out of play.
It's just about adaptation. You got to adapt to the moment. There's 7 minutes left. There's still a chance to get back in the game. All you need is that one goal. If it means putting one more player forward, then so be it. At this point, conceding more goals isn't really a big deal.
Extended minutes for the freshman Madison Young at that left outside back. 2 really young players on the defensive back line for the Gators, and De Leon and Young, who don't have a ton of collegiate experience. Delisle will take the goal kick. Now inside 7 minutes to go.
I'll tell you one thing, Young hasn't missed one header this game.
This will result in a throw-in. Alexander. Gators trying to get energy from that bench. Now Kennedy racing in, ball in front, and no redirection as Lefursky goes tumbling into the goal mouth. Putting everything on the line right now for that first goal of the night.
I think off the ball, in terms of movement off the ball as a collective, that has been the best play for the Gators. The way that 3-4 players just swarm the box going forward with lots of momentum. They need to keep looking for those opportunities.
Meanwhile, the Knights try to churn more clock. Trying to find be their second win all time in Gainesville, that first coming in 2019. This is just the 7th all-time meeting here in Gainesville between these two. Coming in, the Gators have outscored the Knights 47-19 in this all-time series, but the last 7 have come from UCF. As Tiffany Roberts, the Haydak's team, continues to try to make more statements here early in the young season, with LSU looming on Sunday. 5 minutes to go. Florida will throw in, have to go the length of the field right now. Ball played ahead, Vernus, one touch for Liskauskas. Turns forward with speed left of center. Ball ahead, Peace. Gets it on the left foot, back to a right, plays back to center, Gabara. The right-footed touch, sweeps it free. Now Kennedy racing in towards the end line, crosses off, and near post collected by Delisle again.
Lots of energy, lots of running. Corey Peace there could have taken that shot, but she tries giving it to one player, to one of her teammates. But really good stuff we're seeing from Florida. You can tell they have more numbers going forward. Maybe they should try this instead of trying it in the last 10 minutes of a game. Maybe throughout the whole game. It'll make it a little bit more exciting.
Young got fouled. Could be a delay game there for UCF. They're going to have to stop the clock as Carrie Young, not sure if she did that on purpose, but kicked the ball away. Sure, a delay of game talking to for Carrie Young.
We're seeing all these opportunities being created, but also the back line is staying composed, and there's no worrying when it comes to defending. It's pretty much a Gators game right now in terms of possession and going forward.
Good touch from Alexander. Vernus. Vernus reclaims. Lobs it along the near side for Lefersky. Keeps it in play in that right corner, but can't keep it in play. Now we'll race it towards Delisle for the goal kick. Always fighting down to the last second is Kit Lefersky. That energy never wanes throughout a 90 minutes of game action. De Leon, a good first header on the goal kick. Now Mernon rainbows it ahead for Mallory Olson. A foot race with Baksay. And now UCF will certainly take their time deep in their offensive end. Shots have evened out. Florida now just +2 in shots in this game, 12-10, as a yellow card comes out. Kind of blinded from that area. Not sure if it's a delay of game.
It's delay of game. The throwing is not coming out. It's not happening fast enough. And it's number 25, Carrie Young, who receives the yellow card.
Didn't get a yellow card, just got a talking to moments ago, and now gets the yellow card. We get another throw in here with 2:55 to go. Officially, the yellow card was on Olson for time wasting here in the 87th. Throw in, deflects towards Gabara. Rajay volleys it in. Moreno to the corner, offside flag is up, and the Gators want to go. Gator fans do not like the time wasting from UCF, but that's the game of soccer, right?
The referee, Corey Rockwell, is handling it pretty well. I feel like he has been talking, he's been heard even from here, and he's done a good job with that.
Final 2.5 minutes. Liskauskas put a good shift together tonight. Not a great ball that time with the left foot. Sid Kennedy had somewhat of a run developing on that far side, but right towards Delisle. Gators can't come back. They'd fall to 0-2-1 with Miami looming on Sunday. We'll have that game on SEC Network Plus. And for the Knights, back home to Orlando against LSU. Nice test. LSU, a program trying to work its way up in the SEC. They've had their notable struggles throughout the years. Now Lefersky, center of the field. Stops on the dime, goes wide for Vernus. Return give Lefersky. Angles in, bullets one to the near post. Just not enough to find that first goal of the night.
You have to do so much to get that ball past Delisle. Really difficult. That cutback pass has to be a little bit more toward the Gators field, toward the Gators half, not so much toward the keeper.
5 saves apiece in the first 2 games of the year for Caroline Delisle. only exhausted for 3 years in the program, 1 year of eligibility, which was in 2019, redshirted in 2018. The COVID year, everybody gets an extra year, so Delisle still has a lot of time left in net, but has 2 years of experience.
Yeah, I'm so glad they didn't lose that year, because that would have been really bad for their career, especially if they want to go professional, and just their college life. Being a student athlete is something beautiful in itself.
So essentially, including this year, is 3 years left of eligibility. As Young bats that out of play, and this will bring us inside the final 30 seconds. UCF trying to find what would be their 3rd straight win over the Florida Gators and another shutout victory. Ball in the far corner, final 10 seconds. Bring us inside 5. And that will do it here from Gainesville. 3rd straight win for UCF over the Florida Gators, all in shutout fashion. In this all-time series, it continues to be all black and gold for UCF. Final score of UCF 2 and Florida nothing. Juan, your final thoughts?
It's all a process, and today the Florida Gators faced a really tough team in the UCF net.